When they think you don't care. And when they think you forgot. And when they think your heart is not in it, you just say one thing.
What's up, world? We are back from vacation and back from the dead. It is I, your boy Sway from MTV News. I've been gone covering the inaugural Lilith Fair, but before the Sarah McLachlan hot takes start flying, we are back. I already said that. Episode 24 of Knifey Lion Radio. My name is Jonah. And I'm as tan as can be, boogie boarding my way back to you, imploring any listeners who haven't done so yet to follow Knifey Lion Radio on Twitter. We are now starting our latest Twitter follower campaign. It's called The Lunge for 400, so please spread the word. Joining me in the palatial home featured in March 2016's Better Homes and Gardens Midwest Charm issue, it's the indoor instigator, Zach.
Hi.
You mean good day?
Good day. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Recording this directly after the game, not joining us over the phone, not joining us from a location somewhat unknown, is Nick from soccer. MIA this week, if you can believe it, folks, is Zach's friend Chad.
Chad, his excuse this week is he's starting fire school in the morning. He's got to get ready for that. Also, he probably didn't watch the game.
He's a hero. Already. Even when he's in fire school.
He's also a Purple Heart war hero.
No, I'm just playing. Chad, can't wait for you to be a firefighter and do lots of grocery shopping, because that's all they do. This week, I beg for forgiveness for missing last week. We'll very quickly touch on the Nashville game, the arrival of Ari Elashi and Pa. Then we'll talk about tonight's, for us, 1-0 thrashing against Penn FC. I have it now. We'll pick out our favorite. I think this one went against us this week. We'll choose our FCC of the week, and then we'll discuss a lot of random nonsense in this week's edition of Potpourri. But before all that, for all of you that were left out in the cold last week after packing up the station wagon to visit it, I'm happy to reopen and welcome you with open arms to the John Harkes Cave of Wonders. And Zach, did you see the big John Harkes news?
I did. I think he'll probably do a good job.
For those of you who aren't super down and don't have a John Harkes Google alert for some reason, he will be coaching in D3 USL next season with, I'm blanking on the team name. Do you remember? It would take 5 seconds to Google, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, hopefully he's learned from his mistakes, coaching mistakes.
I don't think he made a single one. But as always, this week's episode proudly presented by Speedway, home of the Speedy Freeze. So many flavors, you have to try them all. Carl Lindner must be a KLR listener though, because UDF now has the UD Freeze. And if you're trying to win me over, UDF, well, that's a good start. On my way back from vacation, I did indulge in a frozen Fanta from Burger King, and honestly, it had nothing on my beloved Speedy Freeze. I really hope that doesn't void our lucrative contract. Speedway!
Yeah, I was an Amazon employee for a little while. Jonah used to work there too.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, so it was me and my friend Aaron, friend Kyle. We were friends before work, and then we got to work together. Imagine that. Anyway, anyone who's worked at Amazon, which I know a lot of you rich FCC fans haven't had to have a job like that.
You bougie bitches.
Maybe some of our DCFC supporters are listening. You get 2 15-minute breaks. Well, we'd get ballsy every single day. Like, let's go to fucking Speedway. So you got 15 minutes to get through security, get in your car, drive to Speedway, get a honey bun, Mrs. Freshly's because they're vegan, and an orange monster. Head on back to work. Speedway.
You hear that, Speedway?
Last time I drove past that Amazon, I texted Aaron. I was like, I can taste Monster in my mouth right now.
Proudly sponsored by Amazon CEO Chet Pesos. So for all of you angry listeners, and I know there's a lot of you, I read my mentions. The world was angry. We almost lost number one fan Amelia Wolf, aka Amelia Clark, Mother of Dragons. You look like you're probably a Game of Thrones fan. No offense, but as I mentioned, I don't know if I did mention it, I was on vacation in South Carolina. I was on a literal island. I will not name which island. I need my privacy from you stalkers. We were supposed to have Wi-Fi, but our Wi-Fi was busted. They gave us a hotspot, but really by then, the luster of the game had worn off. So me and Zach did record an episode. Half of it was spent with him shopping for coffee inside of UDF. It would not have been a winner. You didn't miss anything. But maybe it'll come out on the unreleased B-Sides album, KLR Incesticide, next year. So look for that. If you want to know our Nashville hot takes, well, it wasn't that great a game. Danny Koenig was playing for his life. Big Bird scored a goal, and Adi had his first taste of the game. Zach, without rehashing too much, what were your big takeaways from the Nashville 1-1 thrashing?
Yeah, I'll give my little rundown since you weren't at the game. Koenig was a great goal, 28 seconds in. So he was feeling really good about that since he's got to be losing his spot. It was a chippy game, as you would expect. One thing that stood out to me, Ledesma I think that was his worst game for FCC. I thought it was really, really bad. It should have been the first one to come off, but Koch just won't do that. And then, Big Bird scoring, celebrating, flapping his wings in front of the Bailey was pretty good. And then I thought man of the match was Forrest Lasso, hands down. I thought it was fucking great. And he wasn't even on the short list for man of the match on FCC's Twitter, and I thought that was bogus. And then when Addy came on, everyone was really fucking psyched. And you saw the players giving Koenig a hug before he went off the field. I think just to let him know, like, hey, man, we're still with you. Which is cool. I mean, he played great. He scored that goal. Addy came on. He didn't really get super involved. But, yeah, that was that. It kind of felt like a loss because they got a late equalizer. But we can't really create much with Nashville. I don't know why.
I did manage to stream it on my phone with the beautiful beach in the background. I let out a after Koenig's goal. Probably nobody else knew what I was talking about. But yeah, so that was that. But I was back in town for this game. Got here last night, and we were playing our old nemesis. It's not really true. Formerly the Harrisburg City Islanders. Ooh, I got to do my sound effects. Sorry. So it's time for the Penn FC recap. Starting lineup was very exciting. Very exciting for one specific reason. Zach, do you know what I'm referring to?
It's got to be Russell, hottest man on the team, Cicerone.
Yes, the ghost of Daniel Haber. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't at all.
Yeah, so Russell Cicerone with a start. Danny Koenig still keeping his starting spot. From what I understand, Adi and Alashi were both back in the West Coast for most of last week, not with the club training, so I was not surprised to see them both on the bench. Also, Declan Canaan, according to his Twitter account, picked up a light hamstring injury, so he wasn't out there. Paddy Barrett, given the captain's armband. Interesting. Do they know his history of tweeting at Knifey Lion Radio? Koch, you might want to think twice. This guy can fly off the handle for no reason, but he likes getting yelled at, that's for sure. Yeah, Spencer Ritchie in goal for Evan Newton, who hasn't been the same since he got married, and it's not true. I'm sorry. And Osmi out there, yeah, Danny Koenig, but yeah, Cicerone was the thing that really got my juices flowing out there with Lahoud and Bone. But the first half, I'll tell you what, there was not a lot to get too stoked on. Honestly, the most exciting thing for me was watching our old friend Tommy Heineman warming up on the sidelines and walking around. Zach, do you have any first half memories that come into mind?
You think it's a coincidence that Tommy Heineman comes back into our lives the same day we get news about John Harkes?
For fans of episode 2, there are no coincidences.
I think I spent most of the first half in conversation because I wasn't really enthralled.
Clearly, Cicerone was saving all his juice for when he was on our side of the field. Not a fan of the Sun side. Who is, really? But the Nazmi incident happened in the first half, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nazmi working against a guy. The guy's arm goes up really high into what I thought was his neck. I thought he was getting choked, but apparently it was his face. And they got a call on Nazmi for a foul. But then Nazmi started bleeding out of his mouth. He didn't really know what happened, but, give him the foul if he's bleeding. Turns out, based on a tweet that Nazmi sent out, he lost a bottom tooth, and that was a beautiful smile. So that's a big loss. Zach, what does a loss of a bottom tooth mean for Nazmi Al-Badawi? And the team.
I don't know.
Probably just a cap.
Just a cap, yeah. I think half the tooth was still there, but that must have been a hell of a fucking elbow.
Snap it right in half.
But
Or he needs some more calcium in his diet, and that thing just snapped.
that could be
twig.
true. I think I needed some calcium in my diet when I got punched in the forehead and broke my skull.
Wow, save that for We're Just Like You. The new no, wait, that's FCC players. We're just like them. But yeah, second half was a little more exciting. Chances started coming. Cicerone was doing Cicerone things, making runs, giving me the oohs. And
Yeah, the one Ledesma had the chance off the bar, right?
yes,
Which was fucking great, which then sat up pretty perfectly for Cicerone. He blasted it. I don't think really he did much wrong, but their
No.
keeper made a good save.
it was better than Corbin Bones' later attempt.
Yeah. No, it was on target. The keeper just made a good save.
But yeah, then you saw Adi coming over towards the bench to get ready, and you could feel the energy in the crowd, and you could see Koenig's shoulder slump. Adi came in the game, and he proceeded to have a lot of not one-on-ones, but chances up against their defenders, where he was just showing why he's such a strong man, and defenders bouncing off of him or him shoving defenders to the ground, and off it they got a few good chances. But the goal itself set up by Manu himself, pretty much winning the foul, getting the free kick. I have to watch it again. My first thought was that the deflection came off of Tommy Heineman. I want that to be true because it's TG to BT. I don't know what else happened. Nadi had a couple chances.
Yeah, he had his breakaways. He had the one he set up for Corbin Bone, who skied it over the top.
How about the end of the game where Justin Hoyt was like, I'm getting my goal. Started making sprinting runs.
Yeah, Justin Hoyt was, I don't know, off the leash for lack of a better phrase. I feel like he's always like kind of restricted. I'm sure it's instructed, like, but he must have had free reign. I don't know. They just like let him loose, and he seemed upset with Addy at the end of the game there. I think he wanted that ball back, but
There was no way.
no, there was no way he was
Addy was
giving that
giving
up.
it back.
He was taken down for a penalty that they didn't give.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that. Folks, we don't have a lot of hindsight. Did I mention we're recording this after the game? Straight from Nippert.
But I think Cicerone is fucking awesome. Jimmy did play, I think he played that ball through to Addy at the end of the game, which was a perfect ball. But
Yeah, I thought he was good when he came on. I was upset to see Cicerone come off because he didn't appear to be tired and he was still making things happen.
yeah, I got to say, there's some Cicerone haters. I don't know who's saying he's selfish or like this or that. It's like, fuck that, man. He's in my starting 11 every week for sure. And I'd take him with us to MLS, hands down. I think he's like just the only player on our team with any fucking balls to take anybody on. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, I'd say there's only one movement from him where he might have taken one extra touch, but
Yeah,
we
say
got
what
the
you
W.
want. KLR is obsessed with fucking Cicerone. Yeah, we are.
I don't know if I've heard that yet, but hey, you assholes, leave us alone.
They got to be thinking it, but it's true.
Yeah, last week we kind of, in our Forgotten podcast, talked about Nazmi kind of getting lost in the shuffle. I don't have much to add to that take, but here's a question I have. Do you take away his goals, folks?
I mean, here's what I would do. I'm not a tactician, all right? But
Don't let that stop you.
with our roster, I think you want to play a straight 4-4-2. I think we're set up to do that. Cicerone on a wing, Ledesma on a wing, 2 strikers, and I think in the middle, fuck, man. My point being, I think Nazmi should play off the other striker. I think he should play up top or play like just behind the strikers. I still think he's lost in this whatever they're doing out there.
From what I remember, him being up top and having some give and goes and some through balls, you don't see as many of those happening.
No, you don't see any of those happening.
But
And
if that means more Cicerone down the wing, it's something I'm willing to lose.
yeah, you don't see any of that happening. You don't see you rarely any really good passage of play where we're stringing things together really stands out because it hardly happens anymore. And that's why I'm kind of like, Koch extension, what the fuck is he? What are they working on in training just to don't fuck up too bad until Ledesma does something awesome?
Yeah, like we mentioned, Adi deserved an assist. He had a great run, shoved off some dudes using all his strength, and then put it in the middle for Corbin Bone, who got really, I don't know if it required him blasting it, but he really put his foot through it and sent that thing into the fucking fan zone up top. But ended up not mattering. I was convinced somehow our man, Tommy Heineman, would get on the end of one just because that would be hilarious. Last week, Big Berg. This week, Heineman. But, I mean, he looked every bit the the hobbled man he was. Patty Bart juked him, which just felt so unnecessary and cruel. Like he was never really going to go for it. Zach, what did you think about former FCC man Tommy Heineman out there?
He kind of bugged me. One, he looked like labored the whole time, like slow as fuck. Two, he was whining to the ref from the moment he got on the field. Another time, I think Spencer Ritchie like ran with the ball to the other side of the box to kick it, and like Heineman's got both his hands in the air, like whatever. He just seemed really obnoxious. Like I didn't really have a problem with him before. You know, none of us really know who's right or wrong in that injury thing, but he kind of just seemed like a little prick, big prick, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. He was probably wound pretty tight for this game. I don't even know, would he have even been in 18 if they weren't playing FC Cincinnati? I'm sure the coach knew that this meant the world.
I did notice at halftime when he was doing his warm-ups, he was jumping as high as he can. And I think he was really like, hey, guys, look how high I can fucking jump. I'm not hurt.
And I think that cost him.
Another thing in the game I wanted to mention is we had a free kick back pretty far and Ledesma took it, and then you saw Patty go up. I'm like, oh man, it's going to be just like his goal, and it really nearly was. He got a head on it really good, went wide. Been fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if that might have been the one you're talking about, but I thought he had a free header that I thought probably should have been on target. But
yeah,
easy for me to say.
He did great. I will say, you never remember Deckel losing any headers, and Patty he did fine, but he doesn't win all the headers, which most people don't. But Deckel and Forrest, I mean, they win every ball in the air. They win it like you can guarantee they're going to win that ball somehow.
Deckel also gets his timing perfectly every time. But, that's our captain you're talking about. So watch your fucking mouth. They must have drawn straws this week. But, yeah, so I already talked about it. But for this week's... Since Deckel was not in the game, I will give it to whoever the fucking dude is who got his elbow to Nazmi's face, knocked his tooth out. That's a Deckel smash, if ever I've heard one. I'm just going to place my bets that in his career, Deckel's knocked out a tooth from somebody. There's some sorry Israeli dude right now with a jacked up grill, courtesy of Deckel Kanon. But for this week, we'll go ahead and pick our FCC of the week, and that's always exciting because our dear friends at James the Jeweler are waiting for you to spend that $50 gift card coming your way. For me, it's a pretty easy choice if I'm going to go with the obvious, and that would be Ledesma. He was hustling his butt off. He almost had the goal before his actual goal hit the post, and then he got the actual goal. And my wild card would have been Adi, just because I liked seeing the guys bounce off him like a pinball. I thought that was pretty funny. Zach, are you going to go with my obvious choice, or are you going to go Nick Thompson style left field, just really throw a wild card in there?
We're just going with this week.
Nick just texted he will not be joining us on the podcast. Little does he know we're already 20 minutes in.
No, go on without me, he says.
Oh, brave. Brave Nick. Don't worry. We will. Classic. Anyway, Zach,
Nick, if you're listening, we're almost fucking done.
Zach, your FCC man of the week.
Well, I'm going to give Forrest Lasso last week's, and this week I'll give it to Ledesma. For sure. No one really stood out tonight, except he did put some shit together, and he was way more active than he was the week before.
He seems like a guy who would never play defense, but he was actually tracking back quite a bit tonight.
No, and I got kind of accustomed to it. He has tracked back a lot, and he's won a lot of balls back. I don't know the stats, but he wasn't doing any of that the week before.
I'm going to give honorable mention to Justin Hoyt because, number one, the arm flailing and shouting was significantly less this week. He might have listened to the podcast and got a little embarrassed. I mean, he knows he's become kind of a meme, the Justin Hoyt, I'm always open. And, I liked what he was doing out there, and I didn't notice any defensive lapses from him, unlike our man Blake Smith, who had a couple fancy pants moments where he almost cost us, but luckily Penn FC was not able to capitalize on his funky mistakes.
Yeah, Blake Smith tried a little razzle-dazzle in the defensive third there and really did not come off, and then he gave another one away too. But yeah, Justin Hoyt, I thought he was great, especially in the second half. They must have realized nothing was coming down his side and just It's like, fucking go for it, man.
Yeah, but after tallying the votes, Mando Ledesma is this week's FCC of the week. So if you want to come by the palatial estate, pick up your $50 gift card, James the Jeweler. I don't know, $50 could get like a nice tennis bracelet for the wife or something. I gotta mention, I mean, this shit is crap. It is absolute crap. So $50 will get you a lot. I just want to mention Kenny Walker did sub into the game. He was fine. He had a few important tackles. So shouts to Kenny.
Yeah, that was a really good sub because, you know, Nazmi kind of went missing. I don't know if he got subbed out so early because of
His missing tooth.
But Kenny really made an impact. I thought he made some good tackles and it was a good appearance.
But yeah, so that was this week and that was last week. And next week we play, honestly, I have no idea. Some other one of these fucking scrubs.
It's Charleston or something, maybe. I think it's
that
Charleston.
sounds right. Yeah.
I will not be at the game. If anyone wants to come find me, because you're skipping the game too, I'll be playing with the legendary Cro-Mags at the Northside Yacht Club.
I know we have at least probably one listener who knows about the Cro-Mags. No, I'll say two. But yeah, Zach, before we get to potpourri, any final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was fine.
For this week, combining all the segments into everyone's favorite segment,
Potpourri.
big news out of FCC land. Zach, did you see this?
Yeah, I heard about this.
Just trying to get you involved. FCC let go, which is a nice way of saying fired, their beloved social media manager, jack of all trades. You know him as DJ Switzer, not sure how to pronounce that, Mr. Germany. And, you know, he had some tweets about it, and it was pretty sad. He's been doing that not since day one, but probably since as long as most of us have been following the club. He's been in charge of social media and the go-between between supporters and the club itself, and doing designing and graphics and stuff. So we don't really know why he got fired, but apparently, you know, everyone's on the chopping block as we make this move up to the MLS. You know, first of all, say, yes, we made fun of DJ once on this podcast. But that's just proof that anyone could get it. You know, we just want to keep everybody honest. And honestly, let's be real. If DJ listened to which hopefully he did, I hope he had a laugh. You know, it was not very serious. If you don't remember, Zach, what was if you're gonna tell?
Oh, basically it was about the rebranding, and he talked about having German friends in high school.
Yeah,
kind of clowned on that. I think we followed it by saying it's like, man, he's just bad at his job, but he's not.
Yeah, I think he said like 5 out of his 6 high school friends were German, and we were like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I stand by that because I don't give a shit. But you know, we're just giving you a hard time, little razzle dazzle. We're not Pat Brennaning you or Brennaning you or anything. But yeah, the first question is why? Why did they do it, Zach? I know you have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they like
a couple typo tweets, too many. They didn't.
Consolidating things or fucking no, I don't know, man.
I am a little worried that they're gonna get a little too robotic, a little too stale when we make the MLS.
No, and that's, you know, people call this tone deaf, but I don't really know, like, you know, it's not really tone deaf. Most of the fan base doesn't really know who he is.
Yeah, but they've felt.
Yeah, no, they've noticed things he's done, but they don't know. So like, it's not like, oh, you're not really hearing the voice of the people who love DJ. It's like, yeah, the people don't fucking know. But yeah, it is like a little worrisome. You know, it's obviously like a new venture, but like, you need to bring as much of what worked and made this like what it is, whatever you can bring with you to continue it. I think you should. Players are one thing that's kind of like all cards are on the table there. You can't just like bring the players.
Yeah.
The people who like actually made this happen kind of caught lightning in a bottle. Do you not give them enough credit for that? Or
yeah, I mean, if you're going to give Koch 2 years.
Yeah, you can't tell me that Koch is doing a better job than DJ was.
I don't know. It just seems strange. And I don't know if there's anything more to it that we don't know. But what we do know is that, you know, before we get into it, like, he was pretty available, or if like on Reddit, you could tag him in something like a ticket question or something, and he'd be like somebody who would answer. He wasn't like some fucking corporate stooge. He was just like a supreme soccer fan. And
yeah, even like, I mean,
I hope the next guy isn't just like some dude who works for some faceless PR firm and is like someone who actually cares about soccer.
Yeah. Even him like tweeting at our stupid fucking podcast. Like, I know he's not like a celebrity, but it's nice when like someone who actually is like at the club is accessible. Like, I think it's important, and you can't hire someone in from another city, come in. No one's going to really value their opinion on anything.
Yeah, I've noticed we're bringing in a couple Columbus Crew people. I mean, they're fucking lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, like they have failed, whereas like we are succeeding.
It's bizarre to make it through all that and then get rid of them. Then
again, I don't know the fucking details. Like,
but what we do know is FCC is capable of making embarrassing mistakes, and we have heard that DJ is kind of the one who has put the kibosh on some cringy things that, without him, might have squeezed through and caused further embarrassment. If anyone's familiar with, I'm sure you are, the famous Be The One video.
Are you ready to be the one? If so, enter the FC Cincinnati Be The One contest by visiting fccincinnati.com. The fan with the most...
Where, with chalk face, where everyone's getting chalk thrown in their face. That's the stuff they were, they were going with at the beginning. There was also going to be an FCC theme song, which sounded like some Jock Jams shit you'd hear at a Bengals game. I think DJ mercilessly took that out to the woodshed. And so
I mean, I've got a memo here that someone just brought to us. And these are all FCC ideas that thankfully DJ put the kibosh on.
I gotta hear these.
So this would be the world we'd be living in. Sans wrong side of the pond, DJ Switzer.
Das wrong side of the pond.
Oh, and this one's crazy. Jeff Birding kissing booth. That's at every game.
Wow. He dodged a bullet. He gets pretty sweaty.
Jeff Ruby horse and carriage ride to lead the Bailey March.
Spoiler alert, you have to sit on his lap.
After that squirrel incident, they were trying to start serving squirrel in the concession stands. They had a big campaign ready for that, and
gross.
DJ said, no, I have no part in that. Carl Lindner staring contest on Skype.
Yeah, good luck winning that thing. That guy hasn't blinked in 10 years.
$60 that was going to cost to have a Skype contest. This one, I can't believe they wanted this, but they wanted him to post on Instagram, hit the like button, win a chance for your son to spend an evening with Jeff Ruby.
Must be between the ages of 13 and 17. That was very specific.
Yeah, there's one I kind of wish they would have gone with, so maybe this is what got him fired. They want a cat night at Nippert. Hashtag cat Nippert. And
DJ said no. But, what if it rains? Cats don't like
the person I talked to from the office basically said what it came down to, though, was Jeff Ruby versus DJ, and DJ said it's him or me.
Yeah, but the real guy pulling the strings was Pat Brennan, current full-time beat man. While those are real things that DJ put the kibosh on, here is one, let's say slightly more real thing that he did. If you notice, the Bailey is named after the medieval castle protecting thing, which no one's ever fucking heard of. But apparently the original PR guy was obsessed with medieval things. That's why we have the knifey lion. That's why we have the Bailey. But this is a 100% real idea that he had, was that they would bring out the mascot of the opposing team for each game, behead them with a guillotine, I believe. That's a real thing that was going to happen. So luckily there's someone with, some fucking sense like DJ to say, maybe this isn't a great idea, as amazing as it sounds. And
can you imagine a bunch of salivating FCC fans watching a palm tree get cut in half, or
doing a thumbs down? The old friend from the Pride, Matty B, he was saying for like the Islanders, some guy in a Hawaiian shirt coming out and getting decapitated to the loving screams of the 10-year-olds who are dabbing in the front row. Dabbing to death. It's one of those things that's so bad but would be pretty tight. It's like, you've seen the lumberjack what's the guy's name? Lenny the lumberjack in Portland. Cutting the fucking wood. Well, guess what? FCC cuts off fucking heads. So I don't know, that could be a strike against DJ. I'm not sure for putting the kibosh on that. One other thing that would the reason that you want to be on DJ's side. Apparently, he had some beef with the Queen City Mafia, so he's on the right side of history on that one. Unless you're a listener, just kidding.
Yeah, don't
If you're a friend of mine.
don't keep your ball cap on during the anthem in front of these guys.
Oh yeah. Don't call him alt-right either. Do not like that.
Yeah, well,
If the hat fits when the anthem's not playing.
yeah. If anyone posts our private group chat, we're really gonna be in for it.
Stay out of the KLR Slack, you fucking assholes. There's only 4 of us, so it's either Nick or Chad. And Chad, you were in the military, so odds are it was you. Just kidding. We saw Chad got into it with #1 soccer fan Lance McAllister on Twitter once about kneeling during the anthem. Yeah. We won't get into that. Stick to sports. One door opens, another closes. DJ gets fired. Coincidentally, on the same day, our dear friend Pat Brennan announces he is now a full-time FCC beat writer. Congratulations, Pat Brennan. You know we're just giving you some shit.
Yeah, but
seriously.
they clearly got you in their pocket.
That's why they wanted to keep you. I've heard from sources that I haven't heard anything, actually.
Now you can dedicate more time to asking MLS players if they want to come to Cincinnati.
Yeah, the cringe will never die. DJ, I hope you weren't there for that, because I'm pinning that one on you. But yeah, I also heard that still with the club is the guy who sent me several cease and desists for my apparently trademark infringing designs from season 1. So that guy's good enough, but DJ's not. Getting out of here, man. I don't like all these stiffs you're hiring for the MLS. Also, our dear friend and #1 drummer and former sponsor of the podcast, Jeff Ruby. Guys, this guy is an instant follow. If you're not following Jeff Ruby right now, and if you're a broad-shouldered teenage boy, you've got to follow Jeff Ruby. But don't be surprised when he hits you with a, hey, follow back, like a 13-year-old girl
No, if
tweeting at Bieber.
If you're a high school athlete, you can expect a direct message from...
Yeah, I don't want to say I've thought of the most easy catfish ever, but you know, if you want to just Google a picture of high school football player and try to get Jeff Ruby in some trouble, I guarantee results.
Yeah, and that's not, we're not insinuating anything. But
no, absolutely not.
We just went down that Twitter timeline and like, Jesus Christ, if you're a high school boy, you are getting that, hey, follow back from Jeff Ruby without a doubt.
Might get a steak named after you.
Yeah. Tube steak smothered in underwear.
What? Is tube steak a thing? Big fan of the pod. Oh, this guy's fucking Buddy Rich reincarnated.
He's listening to us. He's taking a giant bubble bath with a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, we sound way too old.
I sound pretty young.
Folks, now that we're completely off the rails, Zach, were there any, I know we're wrapping up with Potpourri, were there any FCC players that are just like us moments from the last 2 weeks that stuck out besides us really realizing that Oakley is really the place to be for all FCC players?
No, I think Alex said Kenny Walker stopped at the Sleepy Bee downtown. Got himself 2 coffees, I think he said.
Sleepy Bee is Forrest Lasso's go-to game day breakfast.
Who's the other coffee for?
Oh, I did learn something that this is interesting. Sam DeWitt's girlfriend is a... Zach, do you know the answer to this?
No.
Bengal.
Oh.
It shouldn't surprise me that he's dating a local. Sam DeWitt has now been in this town for a while now, and he will outlive us all.
He's got a lot of free time.
He does have a lot of free time. When he's not sewing his jeans back together, Sam DeWitt is on the prowl. Perfect time to hit the mic. Hasn't been a single voice crack yet, so fuck you all. But yeah, so kudos to that. I did have a friend who spotted Forrest Lasso at the Hyde Park Kroger's. So, if you have Forrest Lasso's home address, we'd love to send him a postcard. DM it to me. Nothing creepy.
The Hyde Park Kroger used to be listed as the #1 place to meet eligible singles in Cincinnati.
I believe it.
Never worked out for me.
No.
I guess they're not all in the natural food section.
No. And I had to keep saying, I'm buying these Flamin' Hot Cheetos for a friend. That's why there's so many bags. They live somewhere where they don't have these. Just kidding. That never came up. They would run.
No, I was approached by a lot of women at that Kroger, but I said, no, I'm going to hold out for our number one listener.
Ow! But yeah, Zach, any other big thoughts from this week before we say sayonara? I wanted this to be the longest podcast ever, but you know, we can't like add chance or anything because it's late, folks. My babies are sleeping.
No.
No, I think we burn any bridge we have left. I do want to point out that the new-ish chant, the ole ole ole. In my head, every time I hear that, I sing "The River of Dreams" by Billy Joel. In the middle of the night,
It really
works.
sound like that.
You have to change the key, but for some reason, that's all I hear. Ole 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 night. Ole ole ole, walking in my sleep. Trust me, it works. So hit up your Spotify, play that song, do the chant over it. Hopefully you're not an idiot and you can do the right key. I know all you guys in the Bailey can because you were all in band. Go ahead, Zach.
Remember, he was performing that song on the Grammys.
Of course I remember. We had that on VHS.
And he pauses before going into the final chorus, and he says, he looks at his watch and says, valuable advertising time counting down. Valuable advertising time counting down. And the crowd went fucking wild.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, man.
Sticking it to the suits.
Yeah. He really sucks, man. I was listening. I hear him at my old job all the time. Like, I hate all his singles, man.
Well, if you want to feel good about hating Billy Joel, watch the documentary. I think it's on Netflix it's like musicians for hire and backup musicians. And he really fucked over his old musicians. He had the same backup band for like 15, 20 years. And then he just really fucked him over for no reason. And he wouldn't give his longtime drummer a ride back on his private plane. He's like, no, this plane is for Billy Joel, like some third person stuff. So if you want to feel good about hating him, he came off as a real prick.
I already felt all right about it, but now I feel better.
Yeah, but
anyone who's going to put out that fucking Uptown Girls, you're a real piece of shit.
Not his finest moment. No, but
that's why she left you.
Speaking
Is he listening?
Only if Jeff Rubius. But there was another famous moment on that Grammys. This is some real inside baseball because we had it on VHS. We watched it many times. But as they go to commercial, the narrator says, in ceremonies held earlier. Gets me every time. The guy said hurled.
Yeah, I remember that. So anyone who's under 30 might not.
If you don't have the 1993 Grammys on VHS, look it up.
Yeah, we used to.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away, featuring
who did the
Clinton.
announcement, and then there's two people reading off the nominees, and they said Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away, and then someone said Chili Peppers. It's like Cyndi Lauper or something like that.
There's also B.B. King and Billy Idol. He says, I'm the idol, he's the king. Brilliant copy there.
Yeah. We used to record all the award shows because this was pre-internet, kind of just YouTube performances. When I wanted to watch Boyz II Men or, oh man, Michael Jackson on the American Music Awards.
Who could forget?
When Dangerous came out. That was real nice.
Yeah, so that Grammys also had, why am I still talking about this? Arrested Development performing Tennessee. A longing performance of Eric Clapton doing Tears in Heaven. I believe he won Song of the Year. Katie Lang, Constant Craving. God, what else? I know you want to know what else was on the 1993 Grammys. There's an Onion article. It's like Eric Clapton comes out with a new, even slower version of Layla. It gets me every time. Anyways.
Like, if you listen to that Eric Clapton Unplugged, which they actually were just playing it on the CD at work.
Where did you work?
No, like just
currently?
now. Yeah, so I've got a new job restoring antique furniture.
So you have to listen to Eric
Any
Clapton
of you rich
Unplugged.
people need some work done. No, this dude, he's 75. He just brought a CD player in, and like he's got like a stack of CDs, and it's Norah Jones, Come Away With Me. He's got Eric Clapton Unplugged, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, it's pretty rough, but
I mean, those are my 3 Deserted Island CDs for sure.
but in that Layla, the acoustic version, you hear like dun 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 dun, dun, and you hear like a bunch of the crowd clapping because they get it right away. And then he sings the first verse, and a bunch of people clap like, "Oh, it's Layla." And then he gets to the chorus, and a bunch of people clap. It's like the rest of them finally, like, "Oh, it's Layla." I didn't realize. And then the people who clapped right away are just like, "Come on, you fucking idiots! We've known this since the beginning."
There's a lot to unpack on Eric Clapton Unplugged.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I
had that cassette when I was younger.
I was already thinking of Norah Jones because she fired her entire band, after
Interesting.
2 or 3 albums. She went with a more like indie rock sound. But it was still good, but different.
She put out an album with Billy Joe from Green Day. So
yes, it's called Foreverly. It was all Everly Brothers covers.
what else would somebody definitely never want to hear about again?
I got some inside dirt on Anthony Bourdain.
Folks, without revealing the truth, you're going to think we're full of shit. Won't say how, but we know the real reason Anthony Bourdain killed himself. And I'm not even fucking with you.
That's true. It's one of those things like, oh, I know, but I can't tell you. But
There's no way KLR knows why Anthony Bourdain killed himself. Well, guess what, you fucking tools. Our 6 degrees of separation are more like 2 degrees for this Anthony Bourdain thing. True facts. Zach, final thoughts on the week that was the last 2 weeks.
I don't really know what else to say.
We've said it all.
Yeah, I'm sad I can't make it next week.
Where's the show for all the people who are definitely not going?
Well, though, anyone who listens to the pod's going to be at the game. But if you want to skip it and get a little fucking punk cred, it's at the Northside Yacht Club.
Josh
Cro-Mags.
Godby, if you're really down,
Yeah.
prove it.
It's the John Joseph Mackey Cro-Mags, which I used to say was the good one, but
Not anymore.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be Team Harley here soon.
Um,
Yeah, what are these guys on about? They're really turning me on to some cool new stuff.
Yeah, people are Googling all sorts of shit.
Amelia Wolf is on YouTube watching Cro-Mags videos right now. Thinking about skipping the game. Why are they talking about me again?
Congratulations, Pat Brennan, Jeff Ruby, keep creeping. Adi, get a start. Alashi, can't wait to see ya. Pa, it sounds weird. Pa, hope you get your green card, but not if our government has their say. Once they see a picture of you, they're like, ooh, Sweden.
Oh, that kind of Sweden.
No, denied. Hashtag stick to sports. But yeah, so once again, folks, I'm sorry. I brought my recording equipment to the fucking beach. I mean, I lugged that shit. It's not heavy, but I lugged it. I brought my mic, the interface. I tried to record on GarageBand, which fucking sucks. I'm a professional, so I use professional tools. But yeah, try not to let you down again. But the shit's free, so get off my balls about it. All right. So those are my final thoughts. DJ, RIP. You have a standing welcome to be the second. We interviewed Jeff Birding. That was a pretty groundbreaking interview. To be our second interview ever, this time live and in person. DJ, if you want to get some shit off your chest, clearly we've burnt every bridge. You don't need to worry. We don't need to worry about ruining anything we got going. All we have is our Speedway endorsement. And while it is lucrative, it's not going to keep the lights on forever. So DJ, if you want to come on, set the record straight.
Yeah, spill your guts.
Yeah. Tell us the other shit that you fucking fixed yourself and you want some credit for. We'll give you the credit right here on Knifey Lane Radio. So yeah, until next time, Zach, you want to say one more word?
Yeah, I was just imagining DJ coming in here and telling us, like, oh, the first time I walked in Carl Linder's office, I creep in the door and tiptoe in, and he's just sitting there staring at the wall. There's no computers in there. There's no TV. He's just sitting there with an empty desk, eyes wide open.
For any Parks and Recreation fans, I don't think you're referencing that, but there's a moment that is exactly like that when Adam Scott's character in Aubrey Plaza, they go to work for some congressman, and he's sitting in an office and he's basically like a cyborg.
I am picturing that, actually.
Which is a perfect amalgamation, sure, I don't know if that word's right, of what I imagine a young Carl Linder would be doing. All right. Wow, this has been a real treat, folks. Next week we'll have, I'm sure Chad will be back. We'll put the odds at 10,000 to 1, and we'll see if we can get Nick on the line.
Well, Chad's not watching the game. He's going to be at the Cro-Mags with me.
Yeah, well, you're probably going to be on the podcast.
That's true.
Even though I know everyone loves my solo podcasts. All right, so I'd like to do a mailbag in the future. So if you want to DM some questions or put them out there in the world, if you're not embarrassed by them, send them to me, and we'll have a Q&A section next week because we got a lot of
I was going to suggest
knowledge.
that, actually. Like, we'll answer anything.
Yeah,
Ask.
maybe I'll put up a form that's confidential. So I don't know if you have something personal you want to ask, whatever it is. I mean, like, well, if it just you can ask and don't. There's no repercussions. All right, so be cool. We have the answers for everything. Clearly, we know a lot about the 1993, might have been 1996 Grammys. Gary Shandling was the host. R.I.P. All right, so Rise Together, Fries Together, FCC Forever. I've lost the script. I can't believe I have to edit this shit tonight. James O'Connor is failing horribly. It's hilarious. Louisville Never. Oh, got a voice crack in. Voice crack forever. Rise together. Goodbye.